Hello, everybody. This is Fernando for another edition of my Las Vegas podcast. I thought I would do a entry this time with regards to deciding what to do when it comes to either playing the high slots or the low slots. And what I mean by paying the high slots or the low slots is the dollar amount used with regards to each play. Now, I've done this through experience, so I'm using my own for this, but I've also read some guidelines associated with the differences between the two and the rewards that come through them. So I'm using both experiences to try to create one for you here. And again, the whole purpose of this podcast with regards to the Las Vegas one is to give an everyman type of scenario. So that way, consider myself a very ordinary person. I'm the perfect person for Vegas when it comes to your average tourist. Other videos out there strongly focus on those who are avid gamblers, those that are looking for all the ins and outs to the highest degree. This is different. This is just everyday type stuff. So now, high slots or low slots, what should you do? It all depends really on the type of reward you want to have. Are you willing to take the risk for having a much higher reward, but coming with the chance of losing a lot more money? Or are you more on the conservative route where you may not have the biggest reward yet, but at the same time, you're not going to walk out with essentially the pockets coming out of your pants empty? Now, in my own experience, I first started off with the low paying slots. We're talking about the ones that had maybe like 50 cents max, and then that way you could play one up to as little as 1 penny per game. And those are the ones that just play like one line throughout the game. I did it just because I wanted to have a chance to see what the bonuses were like for each game. So I would play those. I would play 1 penny each time, and then I slowly went up to 5 pennies a game. Then I went to 10 pennies a game, and I started noticing that the higher I went, the rewards that paid out were even better. While at the same time, my losses weren't as were nominal. They weren't as big as what happens later on. But with regards to those slots, yeah, I mean, if you're looking for a longer experience, maybe just to check out the bonuses, maybe just to check out some of the games from left to right on any aisle that you want to play, go for those penny slots, the ones that at most maybe do like a buck or two at the highest maximum bid, and then that way you'll have a huge chance to play as many lines as you can, penny at a time. Now, I did try also playing the larger slots. Those are the ones where you're betting 3, 4, maybe sometimes it's $5 per roll. And I've heard that those are the ones to play because they tend to have the biggest rewards. I'm not quite certain how the odds are on those, but I experienced more of a loss with those games, and those things can drain you quickly. Maybe, yeah, I mean, I did win a couple hundred every now and then, but with regards to the games themselves, they went by quick. That was the biggest surprise factor for me. I put in $100, I started betting $3, $4, $5 a spin, and then maybe like 3 minutes later, I'm out, and that's it. And I found that to be actually a worse experience than losing money is the fact that the games went by so damn quick. That's the biggest surprise that you'll find when you're playing the larger games, the 3, 4, 5 slot machines, is the fact that you put in money and it is gone within a short time period. So if you're looking to have something that will have the longest period play factor, you're looking at the wrong place. You're definitely going to have to work with the penny slots for that. And if you're trying that with the $3, $4, $5 slots, you'll be surprised how quickly those things go. Now, with regards to the rewards on there, yeah, it can pay out pretty good. It's tempting too, because the worst scenario was whenever I, like, for example, I win $300 on one spin, is to cut out, especially when that spin was one of the early ones. Let's say you just barely sat down on the machine, and then you 2, 3 spins in, you win the $300. It is so tempting to start playing again, because you're thinking, oh, if that just happened on the second or third spin, then the odds are it'll happen within the next couple of spins as well. And then before you know it, the money that you won is gone. Also, it's tempting because you just barely sat down. You're there less than a minute, and your game is already done in terms of the reward factor. it's tempting that you want to keep playing because you want that longevity factor. Again, that's where the penny slots come into play. So I would recommend on something like that. As soon as you win the big bucks, the $200, $300, $400 wins, cash out and then use maybe $5, $10 of it to pay the penny slots, and that way you'll have a balance on there. Now, the medium that I've found is after paying the high slots compared to the low slots, is that I still actually play the low slots, but I play at a higher bet on those. I usually do about $1 to $2.50, depending on, I guess, the calculation available on the machine. And I have found those to last as just as long as the penny slots, but the rewards tend to be bigger. Now, I'm not making like $300+ on the reward side with those bets, but I am making, let's say if something big comes along, it's usually like $100 to $150, and that's a pretty nice win for me. That's when I cash out. I'll give you an example. One of my favorite games is Zeus 2. Those of you who know Zeus 2 know what I'm talking about. It's a very addictive game, especially when the machine starts playing the super spin option, where that little fiery cute guy, the one that has that cute smile, just starts igniting everything on there. And the whole point of that was it allows all the wilds to start building, and you can get a huge payout with it. And with regards to that little guy, it becomes playing the game to get that kind of bonus. And I found that usually the biggest reward tends to come from the $1.20 slot bet, as opposed to, say, betting upwards of $4 on there. And the reason for that is it just seems that the machine pays out more times if you bet a $1.20 game as opposed to the $3 or $4 bet. And I found that I was winning more and losing less doing that method. So that's what I've decided to pretty much do from here on out. And I've been doing it for a while now. Is I'm betting about $1 to $2, maybe upwards of $3 depending on the game. But that's about it. $1, $2, that's the one that I would recommend for everyone out there. You'll enjoy some pretty good wins, not the big ones, but at the same time they're not the small ones. And at the same time, you get the best of all worlds with regards to longevity. So that's my recommendation. High slots or low slots, go with the low slots, but bet a little higher on the bet. Otherwise, you'll just be playing for fun, really, which I guess is the whole point of going to Vegas. But why not have your cake and eat it too? Have some fun and then get some nice rewards as well too. Does anybody else have any recommendations out there? Anybody playing the high slots only? Anybody playing the low slots only? Anybody playing the super high slots? I've seen some where it's $25 plus a single bet. I've never even tried that, never will. That's out of my league on that part. But I've heard that people can win a boatload of money if the timing is right. So if anybody has any experience on that, be sure to post it on there. Otherwise, again, I recommend the low slots, but with a slightly higher bet. One other caveat that I wanted to mention, just for fun, I highly, highly recommend this because who knows, and maybe your ticket to retirement. Play the Mega Millions, the Mega Bucks game. Play that one, the one with the Golden Eagle on top. Play it when you're there and max the bet, because it's only $3 to max the bet. Because if it lands with all the right spots, all the Golden Eagles, you are a 10+ millionaire on there. So anytime I'm in Vegas, I always spend about $50 to $100 on one of those slots just on the chance on there. And if not, if you don't see it, try to look for it. It'll definitely be worth your time. Chances are you'll run through the money. You won't get much of a reward. I've been lucky once where I made close to $300 on that machine and I cashed out. But otherwise, you'll have the ability to potentially retire a multimillionaire if it lands on the right spot. It's the only game where max betting equals the maximum amount of payouts, 10 million plus. No other machine has that, so I highly, highly recommend to do that on the high slot option. So, thanks again, everybody. Take care.